Today I'll be covering inheritance in under 2 minutes. Inheritance is a form of polymorphism in which a child class inherits from a parent class. And what that means is that it inherits its instance variables and methods. Now, it's very useful to reduce code repeating as well as increase code reusability, and it's very useful when you have multiple classes that share common instance variables and methods but each have their own specialized behaviors. So for example, I have an animal class and a dog class subclass. Inside the animal class I have basic instance variables and basic constructor and some basic methods. Now in the dog class, which extends the animal class, meaning this keyword denotes that it's inheriting from the animal class, it also inherits all of the instance variables and methods of this class. However, it has its own methods and own constructor. Keep in mind that you cannot access these instance variables with dot notation inside the dog class because they're private. Now, there's also another important keyword besides extends, which is the super keyword. It's useful for calling the parent constructor in the first line of a child class's constructor using just super and then whatever parameters you need. But it's also useful for calling methods of the parent class that are inherited using super dot method name. Another important concept is method overriding, in which you contain the same method signature, for example, make sound, which exists the same method signature in both of these classes. However, inside you have different behaviors. So if you call it on a dog object, it'll say woof, but if you call it on an animal object, it'll say animal sound. And finally, another important concept is being able to store a subclass object inside a parent class reference. And what that means is that even though you declare this new dog object as an animal data type, you can call the dog object a subclass constructor on it. And basically it's very useful for storing a bunch of animal objects, because you'll have multiple different subclasses usually, into one organized array or data structure. Keep in mind though, you can only use methods that are shared between both this parent class and this subclass when you use a declaration like this. Thank you for watching.